Hey YouTube, Satoshi Matrix here yet again bringing you another video. This time I wanted to talk about Hyperkin's new portable system, their Supaboy, the portable Super Nintendo Entertainment System. This is the second Super Nintendo Entertainment System portable we've seen after the original Yobo FC16 Go, which you might remember from a previous review of mine. I'll put a link to the description below if you haven't watched that video yet. So, the Supaboy. Let's go over its features. It has a nice large size D-pad, the start and select buttons that are, usually in reverse order. The start buttons be here, but the position on the Supaboy, they put it where your thumb can reach it nicely. 2 speakers, 2 controller ports that allow you to use original Super Nintendo or clone controllers, whatever you wish. Reset button. The 4 face buttons, the Y and X buttons, are concave buttons just like the Super Nintendo North American design, and the B and A buttons are convex buttons like the North American and European designs. Up top you have the L and R buttons. You have your power your power jack that you plug into the wall to charge the unit. The power switch. This is the AV out, so that's what plugs into your TV to give you composite video. There's the cartridge port. As you notice, it doesn't have any sort of tabs, so it will play North American carts as well as Japanese Super Famicom carts. On the bottom, you have your headphone jack, you have your volume slider, and you have your power LED light indicator. And that's it. That's all the buttons on the unit. The only thing else I can say is on the back they have this little slider, and this slider, what it does is it puts a little bit of pressure on cartridges so that they remain flush to the system, so they don't wobble around, which is really quite nice for a portable Super Famicom and Super Nintendo unit. The back of the battery, that's obvious, but yeah. So let's grab a game cartridge. I'll grab Super Mario World here and show you what it looks like plugged in. So put the game. Put this single flap down, put the game in, push down, and that's all there is to it. It's locked in place. That cartridge is not going anywhere. So let's turn it on and show you it in action. Now, unfortunately, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. Supaboys, at least so far, almost all of them have an annoying audio buzz that's present both in the speakers internally and when using headphone jacks. So the games, you'll have this annoying buzzing sound, this high-pitched electric buzz, and it's a problem that plagues almost all of the systems. Hyperkin is apparently fixing this problem, working on it, so you can apparently, send it back to them if you really want to, but this is actually my second system I've got from them. This one is apparently a replacement for one that had the same problem, and they sent me one that, again, has the same problem as the one I bought originally. So, not so great, Hyperkin, but yeah, I'll forgive you because the system is cool and new and it's exciting and all that. So, yeah. When you buy the system, it comes with, the system itself comes with a very nice pouch to put the game system in. It comes with a battery, comes with a charger, and comes with AV lines. The AV composite line is this little connector right here, which I already have connected to my TV. So I'm simply going to plug it in, and then it just shows up on the TV screen. So you can see it doesn't actually turn off on the LCD, so yeah, I don't get why that's showing up, because that's just draining battery life, because when you have it plugged into the TV, then you will no longer want to be looking at a small screen. And to make matters even worse, you can't control anything when it's in AV mode. So at this point you have to plug in a controller. But since the FC16 Go, or since the Superboy doesn't come with any controllers, you have to have them on hand. So if you don't already have Super Nintendo controllers and planning on using a Superboy to play on a TV, you're going to need to buy controllers. This system will be a dead weight otherwise. Fortunately, because it uses the Super Nintendo controller port standards, you can use original Super Nintendo and Super Famicom controllers. So here I have an official Super Famicom controller, and I'm simply going to take the controller port end and plug it into the Superboy. And now I can control it perfectly, just as if it was the Super Nintendo. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell this shot or not, but the video, the composite video, is much darker than it should be. The visuals, for whatever reason, on the Superboy darkens the image to composite as opposed to a real Super Nintendo or even the FC16 Go. Both of those systems have a much brighter composite video signal, so I don't get really what's wrong with the Superboy. It's not anything that you can't stand, but but you will get darker colors, and the whole thing will be darker than it should be. Alright, so that's proven. Let's demo something else, because obviously you want to see something else beside Mario World. Why don't we try a Super Famicom game? Let's put in Tales of Fantasia. Alright, let's try something else. Doom. Even though SNES Doom is not a great game, it is impressive to see the Super FX2 chip running on Doom. Again. How about the Super Game Boy running on the Superboy? Put in one of my favorite Game Boy games, Pokemon Puzzle League, or Pokemon Trading Card Game, I should say. Alright. Yoshi's Island. Give that one another shot. how about the Super Power Pack? There you go. Let's load up UN Squadron. Super Nintendo controller. Alright. So, obviously, things work. Now, what doesn't work is, unfortunately, Mario RPG. Mario RPG versions 1.0 or 1.1 and higher will not work on any clone, unfortunately, because the SA1 chip detects these things as illegal pirates or illegal copying devices. It's a sort of anti-piracy measure. And Earthbound as well, as great as Earthbound is, will not run correctly on these clone systems. So I want to talk about the Superboy's features and things I don't like about it. As I've mentioned already, the audio sounds really bad on the internal speakers and through headphones. It doesn't come out bad through AV lines, which is good, but it sort of defeats the purpose because this thing is supposed to be, portable, and you're supposed to be able to take this anywhere. I've encountered many problems where if you're playing a spaceship shooter, such as Gradius Life Force, or not Life Force, Gradius 3, Axelay, UN Squadron, Proteus, etc., etc. If you play any of these spaceship shooters and you're moving around with the D-pad and you're holding down a face button, if you try and do diagonals on the D-pad, the ship will not actually move. What will happen is the ship will stay in its place. You'll be moving the D-pad, and you won't actually be able to control your ship. And it gets really frustrating. It's like, I don't understand this problem. And this is a really, really critical thing because, you want to play action games when you're, on the go with this thing because it's supposed to be a portable system for that. The Superboy does not make a very good portable. What it does is it makes a good Super Nintendo substitute for something that you plug into the TV. And because it only comes through composite video, it's really only great for CRTs like my old one here. For HD TVs, composite will look like ass. It just will. For the price of the Superboy, you can buy a Retron 3 and probably some really good controllers along with it. So overall, I'm pretty actually disappointed with the Superboy. It's got a number of features that I don't like, and I'm blanking on some of the things that I really don't like, and I'll put in an annotation here if I think of them later. But yeah, the battery life is disappointing. It's only 2.5 to 3 hours as opposed to the 5 hours we were promised. So overall, thumbs down. Sorry, Hyperkin.